Ever wonder how medieval monks got their beauty sleep? Between prayer sessions and copying manuscripts, these guys were secretly master sleep hackers. They had some wild tricks up their sleeves, from herbal potions to midnight snacks. Here's where things get really interesting. Medieval monks didn't just sleep once like we do. They rocked this wild thing called biphasic sleep. They'd hit the hay right after sunset for their first sleep, wake up around midnight for a couple hours of prayer and contemplation, and maybe a sneaky midnight snack, then drift back for second sleep until sunrise. And get this, it wasn't just the monks. This two-phase sleep pattern was totally normal for everyone back then. They'd use that middle-of-the-night wake time for all sorts of things: praying, writing, visiting neighbors, or just chilling under the stars. Makes our modern 8-hour straight sleep look kind of boring, right? Ready for the juicy stuff? Those monastery gardens weren't just for show. They were medieval sleep pharmacies. The monks grew lavender like it was going out of style, mixing it into everything from pillows to bedtime tea. But that's just the start. They had this knockout combo called monastic sleep blend. Chamomile for the chill vibes, valerian root for the deep sleep hits, and passion flower to quiet those racing thoughts. My favorite part? They'd stuff their pillows with hops. Yep, the same stuff in your beer. They figured out these plants worked way before modern science proved them right. And here's a fun twist. Some monks got a bit too creative with their sleep potions, leading to some hilariously strict garden rules. I guess even medieval monasteries had their party animals. Let's talk about how these medieval monks became the OG light hackers. They figured out something we're just now rediscovering. Light has a massive effect on sleep. They'd use beeswax candles instead of cheaper tallow ones, and there's a brilliant reason why. Beeswax gives off this warm, gentle light that mimics sunset, helping their brains wind down naturally. They'd strategically place candles around the monastery, creating darker and lighter zones to match their body clocks. As night fell, they'd reduce the number of candles section by section, like a medieval version of your phone's night mode. Some clever monks even used polished metal sheets as reflectors to control light direction. Pretty sophisticated for people who didn't have electricity, right? And here's the kicker. They actually wrote detailed guides about proper candlelight use for optimal sleep. Talk about being ahead of their time. Let me tell you about the monks' secret weapon for knockout sleep. Their incense game was next level. They burned these amazing aromatic cocktails that would make modern aromatherapists jealous. The star of the show? Frankincense. Yeah, like the Christmas gift. But these guys weren't saving it for special occasions. They'd mix it with myrrh and sandalwood, creating this incredible sleep-inducing fog. Some monasteries had special evening rituals, where they'd walk through the dormitories with smoking censers filled with dried sage, cedar, and lavender. They believed certain smokes could chase away bad dreams, and modern science shows they weren't totally wrong. These scents actually can affect your brain chemistry. Bonus fact, they'd sometimes add dried rose petals to the mix, making the whole monastery smell like a medieval spa. Think those meditation apps on your phone are revolutionary? Ha! Medieval monks were dropping sleep beats centuries ago. Their secret weapon, Gregorian chants, these weren't just pretty songs, they were ancient sleep aids. The monks discovered that chanting at around 70-80 beats per minute perfectly matches your resting heart rate. They'd gather in the evening for compline, basically a medieval version of a sleep playlist. The low, rhythmic humming would echo through stone corridors, creating this amazing natural white noise machine. Modern scientists have found these chants can actually drop your blood pressure and slow your breathing. It's like they stumbled onto the perfect formula for audio-guided relaxation, without any fancy equipment or subscription fees. Let's talk about medieval monk beds, and brace yourself, because these were nothing like your cozy memory foam mattress. Monks slept on what basically looked like wooden planks with a thin straw mattress. You'd think they'd be tossing and turning all night, right? But here's the weird part. They actually slept amazingly well. The secret? Those hard beds forced them to sleep in naturally aligned positions. Plus, they had this genius trick of slightly elevating the head of the bed, They thought it kept evil humors away, but it actually helped with digestion and breathing. They'd stuff their mattresses with fresh straw every few months, which created this surprisingly springy surface that kept them cool and dry. You might think monks just flopped into bed like the rest of us, but they turned sleeping positions into an art form. They had this wild theory that your body position affected your soul, and weirdly enough, science now backs some of their ideas. The most popular pose was the watchful servant, lying on your right side, knees slightly bent, right hand under the cheek. Sound familiar? It's basically the recovery position doctors recommend today. Some monks swore by sleeping with their hands crossed over their chest, while others preferred the lion's pose. Right side, right hand supporting the head, left hand resting on the left thigh. These weren't random choices. Each position was meant to promote both physical comfort and spiritual alertness. Forget your midnight pizza cravings. Medieval monks had their own wild menu of sleep-boosting snacks. During their nighttime wake period, they'd munch on some seriously strange combinations. Their go-to favorite? Warm almond milk mixed with nutmeg and honey. Basically, a medieval version of a sleep smoothie. They also swore by something called night bread. Dense, dark loaves packed with sleep-promoting seeds like poppy and pumpkin. Some monasteries even had special sleep cheese aged with herbs like chamomile and dill. And here's a fun fact. They'd eat these snacks sitting up in special chairs, believing that lying down right after eating would invite demons into their dreams. I mean, they weren't totally wrong. Acid reflux is pretty demonic. Let's get a bit scandalous. Some monasteries had a secret sleep medicine cabinet that would raise eyebrows even today. While most monks stuck to harmless herbs, a few rebellious brothers experimented with more exotic options. They'd smuggle in things like opium poppies, totally not church approved, and fermented honey drinks that packed quite a punch. Some monasteries in southern Europe had vineyards producing super strong medicinal wine. They'd mix it with herbs and call it sleep tonic. Real subtle, guys. Church officials kept finding these secret stashes and writing angry letters about monks sleeping through morning prayers. My favorite story: a monastery in France that got busted for growing special mushrooms in their meditation garden. Oops. Ready to upgrade your sleep game with some monk-tested, science-approved tricks? Here's the cool part. These medieval sleep hackers were onto something big. Modern research totally backs up their two-phase sleep pattern. Turns out our bodies naturally lean towards this rhythm. They're herbal hits. Lavender and chamomile are scientifically proven to help you snooze. That beeswax candle trick for gentle amber light. Spot on for melatonin production. Even their chanting was basically perfect sound therapy at 70-80 beats per minute. The one thing science doesn't support? Their wild mushroom experiments. Let's leave those in the Middle Ages. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through medieval monk sleep hacks. If you enjoyed uncovering these ancient secrets, smash that like button and subscribe for more historical mysteries. Share with your insomniac friends. They'll thank you later.